Hey everybody, Laz here again, playing Neverwinter on Xbox One from the guild Excalibur. And today I'm going to be going over my 10.5 PVE PvP build, and I'll jump right into it. So the first thing I changed was my race, and the reason for that I was capped, and I was trying to get as much power as I could because crit cap I was way over crit cap with all the new gear. So I went 19, 17, I believe. I wish I went 20, 16, and I would still be crit capped for that 1% more damage. So I went Dragonborn. The gear, a couple big changes. I'm wearing Vivified chest, gloves. I need 2 more weeks to Vivify my boots. And I'm using Charles Gaze, which gives 20 power per frost resist. And anything Storm King related, we use it wherever frost is applied. Plus it has 2000 power base on it, so that would be 1060 more power, which isn't that much, but it's a little bit. Biggest upgrade I made is my relic weapons are done. The weapon damage alone, I believe, is 19% more damage than the Twisted, and the stats are huge. I got pretty lucky. I got the combat advantage, the 400. Usually I stop at 390, whatever's 390. I run Blade Storm. I'm Storm Warden for PVE. And Split Shot, Split Strike, your main source of damage. I run 2 Rings of Dodd instead of Brutality. Brutality will be up 22 minutes out of every hour instead of the steady 475 power, 475 times 2. So tested it, it's pretty much even. I wish I had a Brutality 5 on my companion, but I farmed a demo a lot and I haven't gotten it yet. And it's gonna change where it doesn't proc soon, so I'm still gonna run these 2. Work is set, still use same artifacts as my other videos. Wheel is my main. Lantern, Lost Mouth. My offensives, I switched from pure brutals to radiance, because like I said, with all this new gear, it's so easy to crit cap. And my defensives, I run vicious. I had silveries. I wanted that little bit of lifesteal for PvE. If I was pure PvP, I would definitely just keep silveries on it. You'll see when I switch to my PvP gear. And that looks mostly like I covered the gear. There's my base stats. 13.5, 40 flat. Now I try to keep my deflect higher than my lifesteal, and I'll explain that when I get to PvP section. Anything else about the gear? Oh, my armor, I run 2 kits, 2 power, and 2 pen for the reinforced kits. And now we'll go into feats. I run basically the same feats as before, except I dumped one out of there. I put some for a little bit more damage, for a little less survivability, what I ran before. The biggest change I made from my other videos is I dropped a 5 here for the 2.5% deflect and crit chance for the throw caution, 5% less damage, and 5% bonus. Because before I was either picking one or the other of these, so I figured why not take both and drop that. Companion changes that I made. I run Deathslade now. He's really good in like big mobs. It'll add to your damage from what I've tested. And the Wild Hunt Rider. And I still run the Earth and Air and Con Artist as my summoned. That is 15% chance to infect your target with a poison that stacks up to 5 times. To 5th stack, it'll explode. And on encounter use, 5% chance to increase damage by 10% for 5 seconds. So that's what I'm running for companions. And when I do dragons or stronghold, I replace the Wild Hunt Rider with Seas Master. And that's the companions, PVE mounts. I run, if I'm solo, I run the 4K recovery. If I'm in a group, I run the 2K power. I'm trying to save up for a Black Ice Warhorse with a 4K power, but you know how that goes. Now my basic PvE setup is 1 friendship, 1 camaraderie, 1 magistrate patience, 1 gladiators guile, 1 cavalry's warning. And my armor for PvE, I just use a rank 7 Soul Forge. You know, rank 12 is godly expensive. It's kind of worth it for the immunity, but it's a lot of astral diamonds, and I run 2 full specs. My overloads, I run Greater Corrupt Black Ice, which is power. Yeah, but if you find yourself crit short, you can run the Lethal, which is the crit, and the Greater Black, which is crit, the little dot. And my weapon enchant, I still use the Fate Touch. I had the Vorpal, I just recently sold that off. It was getting expensive to change it back and forth. A Vorpal, if you're mainly PvP, is definitely better. Your numbers definitely will be higher. There's no doubt about it. And I went over everything, nice and quick. I used the Tensor's Disc power, which is grow bigger, stronger, another 10% power. Plus, with this is another 10% power, so you're 20% power for about 15 seconds, I believe it is, somewhere close to that. So basic rotation, you would turn your stuff on. The foods I eat mostly are this, the squash soup, wild storm elixir, strength, power potion, and if I'm in like a frost area, I would use the 10% one. These are expensive. These I use for farming relics. You'll see over here, I got extra relics and I'm at like 100% still. Now these other ones I'll use in PvP. Can never have enough PvP. This is all my extra, this is my PvP gear. I'm gonna get into that. Okay. So, I have all my eats on. Pop the wheel backwards for some reason. I would open to get into combat. Throw my Thorn Ward out. To activate combat, hit your Tensor's Disc, and you know the rotation line. That's it. And if you're going to use your ultimate, I use Seismic Shot. So the rotation would be you drop your Thorn Ward, switch over, throw Caution, which is a 40% damage buff. And you can have like almost 100% uptime on that. And then 3 at wills, and then Plant Growth 3 at wills, and Thorn Strike 3 at wills. That's what I use. Sometimes you can throw in Cordon before you're running in to group them up instead of the Thorn Ward. And then just run in, especially doing your dailies. That one's pretty good. You can just throw that in there, switch, throw Caution, everything's dead, and like 3 at wills. As you'll see, if you character sheet, my base stats are pretty. I showed you my base stats. I will just show you my crit capped. I get up to like 60k power at 98%. Once everything's procs, I'm usually straight 100 at all times. I took 2 boons that I never take. I take them because you don't get your companion on PvP. So, there we go. Hitting 60k power. You lose the 10% on your feats, crit chance. And for the people that don't know, you're Dragonborn. If you make the race switch after you already pick something, you don't get 3% crit chance, you get 3% crit strike. And I appealed it and tried to get money back, but he wouldn't give it to me. But I ended up using the dragon anyway. Yeah, I definitely noticed the power increase from the halfling. Halfling's a little more survivable. And I believe I covered everything PVE. I get one more look through everything. Looks good. Stats. And I believe that's all for the PvP. And then all you gotta do when you're using your armor, if you guys don't know this, you just go to Vonnie Blood, you hit Y to fill it, X to commit it. And it doesn't cost that much. You can go like a full day of playing and only spend like 8k, you know, and you can probably farm 50k in about 2 hours. All you gotta do is go over here, make him idle, summon this guy, make him active. I'll put on the old frost boots. I saved one piece of that old armor, and you get 25% chance. Plus, there's regular SVA. You can get a chest, which I had, and I transmuted it, and then transmuted it over again. So you can get up to like 4 relics at once. So that's all I have for PvE. I'm gonna respec real quick, and I'll show you what I run for PvP. I'll be right back. Okay everybody, I'm back. I just respected PvP. I went to Pathfinder from Stormwarden. If you have the same problem as I do, I've went through probably more than 100 respec tokens since the Winter Festival. I like to test stuff a lot, as I've said before. If you can't, you can still use the Stormwarden. I like the Pathfinder a lot more in PvP. But I've been using Stormwarden lately. But I'll show you why I used the Pathfinder I respect for this video. And the first thing I noticed is in my other video, I did not go over my boons, but not to worry, because I used the same exact boons for PvP and PvE. I'll go over that real fast. Storm King, 2% lifesteal, 400 stamina gain, Everfrost, 200 recovery, how much stamina or guard I'm missing, hit points, and 3 points into the deflect. I have all the boons done in the Storm King. PvP, I have power, don't have any of the other ones unlocked. I'm one away from this. I think it's triple kills or assist or something like that. Sharandar, power, crit. I take crit anywhere I can to make up for the fact I don't have a companion. Hit points, I take the heal over the damage in Sharandar, and I think it's the Dread Ring. And in PvE, I still, more often than not, am top pain giver. A pure PvE spec Hunter Ranger will whoop the tar out of me, but it is what it is. I take the Fate Thistle, deflect damage. This is a lot better for PvE. Kill power, Dread Ring, crit, lifesteal, resist ignored, mostly for PvE, because you don't need to resist ignored for PvP, because you're piercing. The heal again over the damage, and the shield over Rampage of Madness. This is better for PvE as well as this. Icewind Dale, combat advantage, stamina, crit severity, power on how much stamina or guards missing, which is stamina, and rouse and warmth. This one's probably better for PvE as well, or that one. I like this one. Underdark, straight across, power, crit, combat advantage, stamina over control, and 10% to demons for PvE. Tyranny, power, crit, armor pen, lifesteal severity, and I only have 1 point because I just can't farm Tiamat, and that's crit severity. Stronghold, and I've gone over this before. Power, defense, I do not have the hit point boon. Drives me crazy, but I'm gonna change this. We just hit Guildhall 20 last night actually, and we're working on removing a build into a potato guild and getting me this hit point boon. Not just me, but there's a few people in my guild that like to PvP besides myself. Maze Engine, lifesteal severity, combat advantage, stamina, 10% faster. You're gonna be dodging a lot in PvP. And this is one I wouldn't take, but I take for PvP to make up. You're gonna have this and the one under it. You're gonna get 3,000 bonus crit. That's almost always up. And in PvE, I've noticed it is a little better because you got 3,000 points to do it. And elemental evil, power, severity, hit points, critical strike, and crit. I just talked about that. These are the boons. Alright, now my gear for PvP. I wear pure prestige, and on the chest I switched. I put a silvery where I had a vicious. I didn't mention I use darks on my utilities. And this overload, I actually got one of the frosted smiting, which is, let's see, 1,000 power over the 8. They're really expensive. They're like 50k pop, so I only put it on my PvP helmet. And so silvery on that. The shirt and the pants. This is what I mentioned about my deflect being higher. Cause I put an Azure for more crit over the radiant, and I put silvery over the vicious again. And this is what I was talking about, the set bonus. I want my deflect higher. Every perform a deflect, each successful deflection over the next 10 seconds returns 50% of the damage back. Cannot exceed 15% of your max hit points, which again, hit point boon, need it really bad. And I changed my main artifact to Imperial Rod of Restraint over the wheel. It's a great route, pretty awesome stuff. My kits, I put hit points on everything, because I'm very hit point short. What's my hit points at? 116. Very low. I have had it up to like 160 before, but I was hitting really soft. I also might switch out this ring. I use Rise and Deflect sometimes if I find I'm getting pounced on with 2 silveries in it. I'll throw in there. These are all crap rings. Look at that. Rate drop rate, huh? All garbage. Garbage. This one's pretty good. But I have adorable bites on my companions. Alright. So, like I said, I'll eat my eats. Straight across. This one, sometimes you can use it, sometimes you can't. You don't even need the ice thing. This I hardly ever use. I'll use that maybe if I'm in a really poop FBI or something, which I never am because I usually remake the group myself. But you never know. That's real expensive. And my current projects, the token, I want this really bad on my main slot. And I finished my Horn of Valhalla, and I'm gonna probably get these up on double refine. I got a lot of refinement to use. I heard it's really good, almost godlike in PvE. Now, the abilities I use Hinder and Strike. I have no set abilities. It's mostly on what I fight, and I recognize names and who I'm with, because I don't pre-mate a lot, but if I do, like one ranger, for example, a guy named Nay, he'll use Longstrider with that gushing wound, and on like a heavy target, I'll run the charge, and I'll knock him down, he'll gush and wound him, and he'll hit from one side, I'll hit from the other side with our at wills, and you can't block both of them, and that gush and wound destroys people. But my starting, I usually use Hinder and Shot, Plant Growth, and Thorn Ward. And then Lone Wolf. If I'm Storm Warden, I always take this one too when I'm starting. This is 25% deflect, and the reason you go Pathfinder is Pathfinder's action. Whenever you use daily power, increase your run speed, deflect chance for a brief period. So with this, whenever you use a daily, I go up to like almost 80% deflect, which is, I've had TRs kill themselves on me dunking just from my deflect. And I use the Forest Ghost, of course, which only is 50%. You should probably, more fundamentally sound would be Disruptive Shot, which is only 25%, and Slasher's Mark. I like Slasher's Mark over this. This is probably better, Disruptive Shot, but this, I just call it my mini dunk. I've hit people from behind for over 100k, so it's definitely viable. Mini dunk, good gap closer. You know, it can wreck people's day. So that's mostly the abilities I use. I switch my abilities a lot though in PvP depending on what I am fighting. So say you're starting to go hit a target, you can either open with Thorn Ward, you know, at the last tick that's a 20% debuff, just to get into combat, or the hindrance shot. Switch over, right, lock them down, run in, boom, root them with your artifact, 1, 2, 3. Sometimes you can, instead of even going 1, 2, 3, you can pop all 3 of your encounters, and you won't even have to use your at-will. Now, harder targets, like, I recognize a lot of names. There's this one guy, he's a paladin, Zarl attacks or something. He's just the bane of my existence, this guy. He hits so hard. He uses his ultimate with the cleric sigil, I think, is what he's doing to me. Doesn't seem like I deflect him at all. But, very good player. Give him props. And like powers, if I notice I'm fighting a lot of shield guys, I will switch to Boarhide here. I'll leave plant growth on. Put on the Fox's Cunning. If I'm with a really bad team, I wouldn't say bad, but under-geared. You know, you have a dodge up all the time, little bonus hit points. It's mostly charge the tank, smack him with that, and do your at-wills. And when he's trying to charge you, you'll have your dodge up. Plus that, you know, that the tank can't block for the most part. That's a good tank killer. Another good setup I like to use is the Long Strider. I've mentioned, put the Thorn Ward in there. I got this set up from a guy, that guy, Nay. He likes to run this one. You know, you run in, got your 40% buff, and if you get this off, this huge telegraph that you're doing it, someone's stupid enough to let you do that to them, they're gonna get wrecked. It does so much damage to them. But good players probably not gonna get hit by that. But wishy players, you know, when you even in solo queues, people you're just fighting the same pre-mades. So anyway, that is what that is. I don't use that one too much. But say you're fighting a very squishy team, and you notice you don't need all this deflect. You know, you'll put on a pack and vengeance. So that goes into where I was saying the slasher's mark, because for some reason people love to put their back to HRs. You know, say the guy's running away from you, you just donk him, pow, and he usually dies if he's really squishy. You know, nice, and that gives you stamina. I believe the mark he's got on him. See the green line, and that is pretty much what I run in PvP. I do fairly good. My stats aren't the best for PvP for an overview. I don't run with the pre-made. I recently started running with a couple of guys. That's my overview. 10 losses, 48 matches, 38 wins, 588 kills, 85 deaths, 40 assist. I like to fight on points. You know, I mostly always go positive, but you know, and pre-mades, they put a tear in your eye. You know, they really chafe your behind sometimes. So I think I covered everything, PvE and PvP. So if I helped at least one person, you know, I really appreciate helping you guys. Leave comments, hit that thumbs up please, hit that subscribe. And I should have said at the very beginning of the video, I'd like to thank Mini Lego and Nay, 2 hunters that I talk all thing hunter with, that help me out with, you know, we compare stuff, and you know, each other's specs are very different to the same effect. You know, 2 very good players. And thank you guys, thank you for watching, and I'll keep making these videos. Laz out.